Yeah! Welcome to the shop, where the metal meets the dirt.
So today we're discussing, has the Arrma Gorgon had its day, or is the Arrma Quake the new kid on the block? Decision time. So the 1/10 scale Gorgon, the monster truck, low cost, everything you expect from Arrma. You know, it's got the toughness, the performance, capabilities that really don't seem to have an end. The Gorgon MT chassis is a simple, take the body off and be able to show you this. So the chassis is a simple spine design. It won't collect all the dirt and the dust and the rocks and mud and everything that your normal chassis will do. So it keeps it a bit more sort of lightweight, which means hopefully more power. The independent suspension is oil filled. It's pretty good suspension, to be honest. Coilover shocks, it absorbs the bumps really well. My downside to this is when you come to change the batteries. Having the cover underneath, yes, it makes it very easy to change. Literally 2 clips, pop the cover off, change your battery. But if you go out and you bash these and you hit a jump, you land hard. This cover has a nasty habit, especially when you've had them taken out a few times and the clips are a bit worn. The cover will just pop out, which basically means then your battery's exposed, your battery's going to fall out. I'm not saying it's a design fault, I'm just saying it's something to be aware of, that if you find the clips start getting a bit worn, if you put your battery in, you're going to go bashing, stick a bit of tape or a cable tie around it. Stops your battery getting damaged, you know, or any other problems with it, like connections being pulled apart. Just to be safe and sorry, really, you know. But touch wood, so far I haven't actually had any problems with that happening, and I've had, oh god, this is the 4th one now, so we keep buying and selling them, so I'm going to try and keep hold of this one for a while. They're pretty good on traction. They stick to the ground pretty well. 2-wheel drive transmission, obviously. It's a 550 brush motor. I do like these D-boots Chevron tyres. They look tough and they actually work really well. They are so soft. They really do grip well. Apparently it's supposed to have beefy gears. I've yet to break any, but I can't imagine that the gears are going to be that strong. It's something that I'm going to find out, because this one is going to have some changes made to it, so we'll have to see. Basically, the only problem I find with this, it's not the fastest. Obviously, it's a brush motor. If you're new to the hobby or starting out, then it is LiPo compatible. It's fast enough for a new beginner. But someone that wants to get it, you know, is in the hobby for a longer time and used to the higher grade things, then really this needs a brushless motor. This one is going to go brushless. We will probably put a hobby wing system of some sort in it, 3S, which will make it pretty crazy. I've done it before on my other ones, made them 3S, and they love to wheelie. So this is going to have a wheelie bar fitted, which I'm hoping I've got one somewhere lying around which I can put onto it. So in summary then, for the Arrma Gorgon, is it again going to be obsolete? You know, eventually. I mean, I know they've done some upgrades for 2025, which obviously we're near the end now, but I don't think the Quake itself will ever take over completely. I think they're going to keep this going. But in summary, the pros, it's durable. It's a good build. For backyard bashing, jumps, things like that, it's a perfect little motor. Brush motor system, no, get rid of it. It needs to be upgraded. It's going to have a limited lifespan, and it can, obviously, if you're bashing these quite hard, the brush motor will overheat. So it's not the ideal thing. They don't even come with the fan on them on this model. I know the newer upgrade 2025 ones come with a purpose fan on it, but these don't, which they should be putting really on all their models. It is beginner friendly, obviously 2-wheel drive handling. You do have the throttle control on there, which gives you the, now it gives you the 50, 75 and 100%. So if you're new and you've never driven an RC car, 50%, it's going to crawl along, give you plenty of chance to get used to it, work with it, until you gradually build up your confidence, which is great. Downside, the body. It is very, very flimsy, very weak. And if you wheelie this and you haven't got a wheelie bar on it, and even sometimes if you have got the wheelie bar, this is going to hit the deck and it's going to rip, and it normally splits right up in the corner, and it also starts splitting along the front edge here, so you'll lose the front end. If you're going to keep these bodies, which to be honest, I love it. I love the body. I think it looks really good. It does need reinforcing before you do anything, especially the back and the front part there. Not necessarily the roof. It doesn't seem to damage that much. But the sides also, if you flip them over, these end up tucking underneath and you end up getting it stuck on the chassis. So something just to bear in mind with that. They do have great upgrade potential, especially as far as the motor and that goes. Metal diffs are quite easy to fit on these, which are going to help, especially when you upgrade to brushless. Something you definitely need to redo. I'm concentrating on the motor and the ESC because really that's my biggest concern with this. Some people have said to me to put the 223S Spectrum system in it, which is a straight swap over from things like the Granite, would work perfectly in this. I don't have a problem with the Spectrum system. It seems to work fine. I've never had one go wrong on me. But personally, for me, I would be putting, I'm not sure which one yet, but it'd definitely be a Hobbywing system. Something that we know is got the power there, and it's going to work well. We'll see how it goes anyway. They are affordable. These at the moment you can pick up really, really cheap. And at the moment, my point I'm trying to make here is if you've got a Gorgon, but you like the style of the Quake, why buy a Quake? Buy yourself a Quake body and stick it on your Gorgon chassis. It's a direct fit, straight on, nothing has to be changed. And you take it out and you look at it, and people are going to go, oh, you've got an Arrma Quake, especially when you've done the upgrade on the motor. I just, I can't personally justify spending out another £260 odd, I think it is, for the Quake, when you can pick one of these up brushed for about 164, 165. A Hobbywing system is probably going to cost you 80 quid off Amazon. There you go. To me, it's a no-brainer. You're just going to upgrade it and away you go. No one's going to know the difference. Whichever way you do it, you're going to enjoy it. That's the main thing. You're going to have fun with these. I've had so much fun with these Arrma Gorgons. you can just do what you like with them, and they just keep going. I say you just have to keep replacing the bodies, unfortunately, because they don't last that long. So basically, don't get me wrong when I say, "Oh, it sounds like I'm putting the Quake down," because I'm not. I think the Quake is a fantastic little motor. If you don't own a Gorgon and you want something that's fun and a reasonable price, go and buy the Quake. You won't regret it, and you will have so much fun. It's an unbelievable little truck. But for me, I prefer the style of the Gorgon body, and that's why I'm sticking with them, and I'd prefer to upgrade them. I don't actually have a Quake here for obvious reasons. I haven't bought one. I did try a friend of mine a few days ago. He's got one, and I took it out and had a little run around with it. And I say it is a hell of a lot of fun. You do you do a lot of wheelies with it. It can be a little bit unstable, especially on jumping, but it is great fun. Performance wise, it's fantastic. I mean, it's straight out the box. 35 mile an hour on 2S, and I believe it's 50 mile an hour on 3S, which for a ready to run vehicle is fantastic. The build quality really, we're going back to this. We're going back to the Gorgon. It's the same composite chassis, oil-filled shocks, metal gear diffs, same as the Gorgon. Beginner friendly, Spectrum SL, I think it's the SLT2 radio, which gives you the 50, 75 and 100% speed limits, which again is the same as the Gorgon. Value, yeah, now that's the tricky one. The Quake is around 260. With the Gorgon, as like I said, I think earlier, they're pricing now around 164 from some dealers. Some are up to the 200 mark, but if you look, you can get them at a really good price. Bear in mind though that if you do, you're going to need to do the upgrade, which is going to cost you probably say around another £80. So in price wise, you're on about the same limit. You're looking at the sort of the 240 to 260 mark to buy a Quake and upgrade it, or just to buy a Quake ready to run out of the box. So basically, what I'm going to say here now is price wise, okay, as like I said, it's the same. Okay, that's your decision. The final decision is down to what you actually want. Do you want the Gorgon style body? Do you want the Quake, which is obviously the more monster truck style? Okay. If you got the Quake, if you got a Gorgon and you want to make it into a monster truck, then you buy a Quake body and you put it straight on. Direct fit, nothing else needs doing. I'm sorry, but for me, it is the Gorgon. Just because I prefer the look of it, and I'm happy to do all the upgrades. I mean, that's what I do. I will buy a cheap motor, a cheap RC, and I will upgrade it to the limit and do the best that I can with it. So, at the end of the day, the decision is down to you. Whichever one you choose, whether you go for the Gorgon and you upgrade it, brushless, and make it stupid, that's great. Just bear in mind that you may have to do, obviously, some diff upgrades. And the only other thing I would say is shock absorbers. Although they work really well on a landing, it does have a tendency to bounce, rebound a little bit. So that's something you just need to bear in mind. But other than that, you don't really need to do anything else to them, just by upgrading the motor and that. The Quake, as I say, it's out the box, it's fast, it's fun, you need to do nothing to it. Whichever one you choose, you're going to actually have a lot of fun and you're not going to be disappointed with either of them. So grab yourself a bargain while you can, get yourself either the Gorgon or the Quake, get out there, have a blast and enjoy yourself.
Welcome to the shop, where the metal meets the dirt.